How much time should a software architect reserve to write code? 0%, 50%, 80%? And how much time should a software architect spend in meetings? Hi, my name is Fabio Formosa, I am a software architect and welcome to my channel. There is no answer to that question. Do a search in Google, you will not find the magic formula or the software architect recipe. What a pity. Actually, the answer is the classic answer. It depends. It depends on the company which you are working on, it depends on the level of maturity of the project you are working on or the level of maturity of your team. In my view, there are three different profiles of a software architect. No code, low code, heavy code. The no-code profile is the profile of a software architect focused exclusively on the design of the architecture, and she or he never writes code. He or she spends the whole day to take decisions at a higher level of abstraction or to provide support to the software engineers in solving architectural problems and to show and explain the architecture to the stakeholders. Yeah, it's really possible in my view to be a software architect and never writing code. There are tons of big architectural problems to deal with. For example, how to manage Kafka in a scalable way, whether to adhere to backend for frontend or GraphQL, distributed transactions in a microservice-based architecture, cloud-managed services versus self-managed services, how to handle third-party integrations, all security and performance aspects, a lot. The low-code profile is the profile of a software architect mainly focused on the code base and the compliance of the source code with the architectural principles. Most of his or her time is dedicated to pull requests and keep in touch with developers to negotiate changes and enhancements. And why not, sometimes he or she adds some lines of code. This second profile partially overlaps with the tech leader, I know, but yeah, sometimes it can happen. The heavy code profile is the profile of a software architect actively engaged in the development phase. For example, because he or she gives a contribution in defining standards for the entire organization, delivering shared libraries and cross-functional features. I think too the management of the multi-tenancy model in a software as a service or defining the single sign-on and authorization for all teams or the management of an API gateway or taking care of observability aspects, logging and monitoring. Obviously, these three profiles are not silos. You can identify yourself with an hybrid of these three ones, or in a certain period of the year you can assume this profile or that profile and you can assume another one in another period. It happened to me also. So getting back at the question asked at the beginning of this video, how much time should a software architect reserve to write code? Define your time in your own, of course in agreement with the needs of your company. Personally, I believe that writing code is a crucial activity of a software architect, but to be handled with care. If you never touch the code, you will never know if the developers of your team are pushing changes compliant to the architectural design. You will never have the chance to find the out patterns present in the code base, and you will never catch the portions of the code base which result in efficiency and which require refactoring and spend some effort. On the other hand, if you are too much engaged in writing code, you could end up in spend too much time in repetitive actions and you will be too much focused on development details at the expense of thinking to the big picture of the architecture and where you are going on. My suggestion is find the balance which fits for you. I know it's not easy, it's quite challenging. Time management is the hardest part of our job, really. Let me know which of these three profiles you identify on. See you and have your bits well set.